In this clip, I'm going to give you a few examples for the third question of the TOEFL Speaking Task. I have chosen these examples from the Cambridge Preparation for the TOEFL Test prep software. There are 7 complete tests in that software, so I'm going to present here to you the 7 examples of the third question. The third question from the first test. The University of the Rockies is announcing its annual job fair. Read the announcement from the Career Services Center. You will have 45 seconds to read the announcement. Educational Job Fair. The University of the Rockies has been offering our placement abroad services for prospective teachers since 1980s. This program is sponsored by the University of the Rockies Career Services Center, originally initiated to provide American schools abroad with certified teachers. The placement abroad services now includes the University of the Rockies recruitment fair, credential and referral services, and the Careers in Education publication. We are dedicated to providing our graduates in education the opportunity to meet and interview with recruitment staff from international schools. This service is free for all University of the Rockies students and alumni.
Now listen to 2 students as they discuss the announcement.
Are you going to register to attend the job fair?
I'm not sure. I'd like the experience of living abroad, but I need a well-paid job to pay back my student loan. Not all the jobs pay that well.
Some do.
Yeah, but the ones that pay well want experienced teachers. I've only done my student teaching, and that isn't enough.
But you're certified to teach science, so you can probably get a job just about anywhere. Because of the shortage of science teachers.
I still think I need more experience.
You also won first prize in the science teaching competition for your inquiry-based science project. Surely that'd count in the job market.
Maybe, but
I think that you ought to register. The service is free. The recruitment people come to campus, so you don't have to travel to an interview. You always said you'd like to work abroad, and here's the opportunity. Then, if you aren't offered anything, at least you get the experience of having interviews, and you can apply again after you get some teaching experience.
Firstly, I'm going to retell this story in my own words. There is going to be this educational job fair at Washington Center. This job fair is going to be particularly interested for graduates in education. The University of the Rockies has been offering placement abroad services for teachers. This program is created with intention to provide American schools abroad with certified teachers. This program is sponsored by the University of the Rockies Career Services Center. At this job fair, graduates in education will have the opportunity to have a job interview with recruitment staff from international schools. 2 students are talking about this. The male student asks the female student if she is going to register for this job fair. She says that she is not sure. On one hand, she would like to get some experience of living abroad. But on the other hand, she has to pay her student loan. And not all teaching jobs are paid well enough. The better paid ones are usually for experienced teachers. And she has only done student teaching, and that is not enough. The male student is trying to encourage her. He is telling her that she is certified to teach science, and there is always shortage of science teachers. Furthermore, he is reminding her that she has also won first prize in science teaching competition, and that has to count for something. However, even after this, she is still not convinced. So at the end, he is telling her that she should register because the service is free and she should try it. She has nothing to lose. Even if she does not get any job offer, she will get the experience of having interviews. And later, when she gets more teaching experience, she can apply again. Now let's concentrate on the question. The man expresses his opinion about whether the woman should attend the job fair. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for his opinion. The man thinks that the woman should register for this job fair because, like she always said, she would like to get some experience of living abroad. But she has a problem. She needs to return her student loan, and not all jobs are paid well enough. The better paid ones are only for experienced teachers, and she is lacking experience in teaching. He is trying to encourage her. He is telling her that she is certified to teach science, and there is always shortage when it comes to science teachers. He is also reminding her that she won first prize in science teaching competition and that has to count for something on the job market. At the end, he is telling her that the service is free and she should register and try it because she has nothing to lose. Even if she does not get any job offer, she will get the experience of having interviews, and later she can apply again when she gets more experience in teaching. The third question from the second test. The student newspaper has published an article about different services offered on campus. Read the description about the legal aid project. You will have 45 seconds to read the article. Legal Aid Project. Founded in 1968, the Legal Aid Project provides free legal services to students. This non-profit organization was established in order to give law students practical experience in the application of the law. Students are required to work one semester of their senior year in the project as part of their training. During the semester, students accompany attorneys and lawyers to the courthouse to observe ongoing cases. Many go to work additional semesters in the project on a volunteer basis. The project staff assists the law students with their work and evaluates the job done.
Now listen to two students as they discuss the legal aid project.
I didn't know that they had a free legal service for students here. You could get help with your housing problem.
Oh, I don't know. That project's just set up to help the law students.
Maybe, but you said that you couldn't afford to see a lawyer and this service is free. You might be able to get your rent deposit back.
I don't really trust a student to advise me. I mean, those guys don't have any experience, do they?
Well, I think they do. You know, law students have to take a practicum where they deal with real legal cases that were dealt with in the past. Anyway, they go through old cases as if they were current ones, and then they see how the experienced lawyers dealt with the problems and, analyze the ins and outs of the case.
But that's just a classroom exercise.
Maybe, but see, it also says that the project staff assists them. The staff probably steps in and gives advice if the student is going in the wrong direction.
Now I'm going to retell this story in my own words. There is this legal aid project at the university. This project was established in order to give law students practical experience in the application of the law. Also, the legal aid project provides free legal services to students. Law students are required to work one semester of their senior year on this project. During this work, students accompany lawyers to the courthouse to observe ongoing cases. Two students are talking about this project. The female student is saying to her colleague that participants in this project might be able to help him about his housing problem. He has a problem with getting back his rent deposit, and he does not have money to hire a professional lawyer. The male student is not sure about that, because this project is established with primary intention to give law students practical experience. Giving free advices to other students is their secondary purpose. He further says that law students are not experienced enough for giving adequate legal advices. However, the female student says to him that law students do have some experience because they have to take a practicum where they deal with real legal cases that were dealt with in the past, and then they analyze how the experienced lawyers have dealt with those problems. She also says that the project staff is assisting law students on the project, and they are correcting the students if they start to go in the wrong direction. Now let's hear the question. The woman expresses her opinion of the legal aid project. State her opinion and explain her arguments in favor of the service. The woman looks favorably at this project. She is saying to her colleague that participants in this project might be able to help him about his housing problem. He has a problem with getting back his rent deposit, and he does not have money to hire a professional lawyer. The man is unsure about that because he says that law students are not experienced enough to give adequate legal advices. However, she further says that law students do have some experience because they have to take a practicum where they deal with real legal cases that were dealt with in the past, and then they analyze how the experienced lawyers have dealt with those problems. She also says that the project staff is assisting law students on the project, and that they are guiding them in the right direction. The third question from the third test. The University of the Rockies Financial Aid Office has posted information about work-study grants. You will have 45 seconds to read the announcement. Financial Aid Office announcement. The work-study program gives undergraduate and graduate students the opportunity to earn money on campus to pay their education-related expenses. The pay is based on minimum wage, but can be higher based on the job requirements. Students can earn up to $3,000 per year, depending on financial need. To be eligible for consideration in the program, a student must be registered as a full-time student and must be able to demonstrate financial need. To obtain more information or to apply for the listed jobs, contact the Financial Aid Office in Buxley Hall.
Now listen to two students as they discuss the announcement.
Hey, do you know anything about the work-study program?
A bit. You know that guy, Jim,
Uh-huh.
in our philosophy class? Well, he got a grant. You have to fill in papers about your financial needs, and then you're allotted an amount of money that you can earn and told how much you get per hour.
Oh, do you know how much he was paid?
He was allotted the full amount. You know, Jim's from a big family, so money's tight.
Uh-huh. Hey, I heard there's an opening in the astronomy department. That would give me some good job experience. You applying for something?
Well, it'd be nice to get some job experience and be able to work on campus, but I'm not eligible. You have to really need financial aid. And between my summer job and my parents helping me out, well...
Oh, you know what? I earned some money last summer. I wonder if I'll qualify.
Maybe not for the full amount. Why don't you just go fill out the financial needs assessment form and find out? No harm in trying.
Now I'm going to retell the story in my own words. So there is this announcement from the Financial Aid Office. The announcement explains the work-study program. This program gives students the opportunity to earn money on campus to pay their education-related expenses. To be eligible for consideration for the program, a student must be a full-time student and must be able to demonstrate financial need. Two students were talking about this program. The female student is interested for this program. The male student is telling her that there is this guy Jim who was allotted the full amount of that grant, because he comes from a big family and money is tight. The female student said that there is an opening in the astronomy department. She will apply for it because that can give her some good job experience. The male student said that it is nice to get some job experience by working on campus, but he is not going to apply, because he is not eligible for the financial aid. He has a summer job and his parents are helping him. After he has mentioned the summer job, the woman is wondering if she is going to be eligible for the work-study program, because she has earned some money last summer. The man said to her that she may not get the full amount, but she has to try because she has nothing to lose if she tries. Now let's hear the question. The woman expresses her desire for a work-study job. State the requirements necessary for taking part in the program and explain the advantages discussed. So there is this work-study program at the university. This program is good for students because they can earn some extra money, they can get some work experience, and they can work on campus, which means they do not have to go far away to work somewhere else. There are two requirements. A student must be a full-time student and must be able to demonstrate financial need. The woman is excited about this program. She said there is an opening in the astronomy department and she's going to apply for it. That will give her a good job experience. The man is not going to apply for anything, because he is not eligible for that. He has a summer job and his parents are helping him. Now, when the man has mentioned that, the woman is wondering if she is going to be eligible, because she has earned some money last summer, but the man is encouraging her to apply for it. She may not get the full amount, but she should try. There is no harm in trying. The third question from the fourth test. The University of the Rockies newspaper has published a letter to the editor concerning a university policy. Read the letter about the hiring of temporary instructors. You will have 45 seconds to read the letter. Letter to the editor. Most students are unaware of the employment conditions of our instructors. In fact, an ever-increasing percentage of our university teachers have adjunct contracts. This means that they are only hired for a semester at a time, are underpaid, and receive no benefits. Although universities make great savings by following a policy of using temporary instructors, students do not benefit from these savings in the form of lower tuition fees. Concerning how our university is exploiting teachers, we as students should be asking in what ways our education is suffering from this situation.
Now listen to two students as they discuss the issue brought up in the letter.
I thought university teachers were well paid. I mean, they have to have advanced degrees and be experienced to teach here, don't they?
Yeah, but I've heard that over 60% of our teachers are temporary.
Really? Well, I don't think my education is suffering because of it. Do you?
Well, it's kind of hard to know, isn't it? I mean, part-timers have to hold down another job, so they can't concentrate on course development.
That's true. But I still think my teachers are pretty well prepared.
Yeah, me too. But there are other drawbacks to having part-time teachers too, like, well, I needed to see my literature instructor, but arranging a time was difficult because she also works at the city library. And then our meeting wasn't private because temporary staff members share offices.
Really?
Uh-huh. And they don't have a voice in departmental issues or access to university funding.
Wow. I can't imagine they feel any loyalty to the university at all.
Now I'm going to retell this story in my own words. The university newspaper has published a letter to the editor. That letter was written by some students with the purpose to make all other students aware that some of their teachers do not have very good work conditions. An ever-increasing number of their teachers have temporary contracts. They are only hired for a semester at a time, they are underpaid, and they do not receive benefits. The university is saving a great deal of money by exploiting temporary instructors, but that didn't make tuition fees any lower. So this letter is calling the students to ask themselves in what ways their education is suffering because of the university is exploiting temporary instructors. Two students were discussing this letter. The female student said that she had thought that university teachers are well paid. She was not aware of the mentioned conditions, but anyway, she does not think that students' education is suffering because of that. The male student is explaining some things to her in more details. He said that 60% of their teachers are with temporary contracts, and they are working part-time at the university. Because of that, they have to hold on another job to earn enough for their living, so they cannot give 100% to students. In spite of this, many temporary teachers are well prepared, but there are also other drawbacks. When a student wants to meet a part-time teacher for a consultation, he is going to have a hard time achieving that, because those teachers are rarely available at the campus, because of the other job that they have. And when they finally meet, the student does not have privacy with the teacher, because temporary staff members share offices. Furthermore, they do not have a voice in departmental issues or access to university funding. Now let's hear the question. The man expresses his opinion on the issue of temporary instructors. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for that opinion. The man says that over 60% of their teachers are temporary teachers, and because of that they are underpaid, so they have to hold on another job to earn enough for their living. So because of that, they cannot give 100% to students. There are also some other drawbacks. For example, when a student wants to arrange a meeting with a temporary teacher, he is going to have a hard time achieving that. Temporary teachers are rarely present on campus because of the other job that they have. And when a student finally arranges a meeting with a temporary teacher, he is not going to have a privacy with the temporary teacher, because temporary staff members share offices. Furthermore, there's also other drawbacks. For example, temporary teachers do not have a voice in departmental issues, and they do not have access to university funding. The third question from the fifth test. The university shuttle buses are following a different route because of road repairs. Read the announcement at the bus stop that explains the changes. You will have 45 seconds to read the announcement. Important notice for shuttle bus users. Because of road repairs along Main Street, there will be some minor routing changes of the university shuttle buses. Effective Monday, April 10, buses that normally follow Main Street can be boarded at Pine Street and 6th Avenue. Buses will return to their regular routes on Monday, April 17. This temporary change will not affect travel and/or schedule times. We are sorry for the inconvenience for those who use the shuttle buses to get to and from neighborhoods in and around campus. If you have questions or need more information, please call our University Transit Center.
Now listen to two students as they discuss the route changes.
What's the matter?
I'm confused about the buses. The change affects the recreation center bus, doesn't it? I need to get there for my gymnastics class.
Yeah, but you just go down a block on 6th Avenue and there's Pine Street.
Which direction do I go on 6th, right or left?
Well, you know the bookstore?
Yeah, Bender's books?
Yeah, that one. Okay, well, Bender's is on the corner of Pine and 6th. But you don't just turn the corner onto Pine, 'cause the buses on that side are coming back from the center, okay? Cross over to the other side of Pine Street and go down a bit. There's a temporary bus stop sign. You know, the picture of a bus, a symbol of a bus on a post.
All right. And then, do you know if it stops in the same place as before?
Probably not, 'cause the regular bus stops on Main Street. But, you know, the rec center has that tower above the, at the track where the announcers broadcast the events. You could try to sit in the front of the bus and watch out for the tower. Then you'd know where to get off the bus.
Now I'm going to retell the story in my own words. There are going to be some road repairs on Main Street. That will cause some routing changes of the university shuttle buses. That will last for a week. During this time, buses that normally follow Main Street can be boarded on Pine Street and 6th Avenue. The male student is confused about the buses. He needs to get to the recreation center for his gymnastic class. And now he does not know where to catch a bus. The female student is explaining to him that he needs to go down a block on 6th Avenue until Pine Street. At the corner of 6th Avenue and Pine Street, there is the Bender's bookstore, and near it there is a bus stop. But that bus stop is for the buses that are coming from the center, so he needs to cross over to the other side of Pine Street and go down a bit, and he will see a temporary bus stop for the buses that are going to the center. Then, when he needs to get off the bus, it is best for him to sit in the front of the bus and watch for the tower of the recreation center. When he sees the tower, he should get off the bus. Now I'm going to focus on the question. The woman has explained to the man how to get to the part of campus he needs to go to. Explain where the man is going and how he can get there. The man is going to the recreation center for his gymnastic class, but because of some road repairs on Main Street, the routing of shuttle buses is going to be changed. He needs to go down a block on 6th Avenue until Pine Street. At the corner of 6th Avenue and Pine Street, there is the Bender's bookstore, and near it there is a bus stop, but that bus stop is for the buses that are coming from the center. He needs to cross over to the other side of Pine Street, go down a bit, and then he will see a temporary bus stop for the buses that are going to the center. Then, when he needs to get off the bus, it is best for him to sit in front of the bus and watch for the tower of the recreation center. When he sees the tower, he should get off the bus. The third question from the 6th test. The Geology Department has a summer program. Read the announcement about the program that has been offered. You will have 45 seconds to read the announcement. Announcement from the Geology Department. We are pleased to announce that the 15th Annual Field Geology Summer Program will take place at the Copper Mountain Field Camp from July 12th to July 26th. The Field Geology Summer Program is jointly organized by the Mountain States Universities and gives future geologists the opportunity to do field research. The program offers 2 weeks of lectures, field work, and lab training. Registration for the Field Geology Summer Program is now open. Pick up a field geology packet at the Geology Department to find out more about the program and details on registration, accommodations, and prices.
Now listen to 2 students as they discuss the announcement.
I'd sure like to attend the summer program. I could use some experience in the field.
So could I. Those lab experiments we do, well, they aren't enough, are they? To get a feel for what a geologist really has to do?
No, they aren't. Jim went last year, and he said the lectures are more interesting because they're kind of hands-on, with the fossils right there on the ground in front of you where they've been for millions of years, and the professor explaining what the terrain of the site tells you about them.
It makes a difference, finding the fossils instead of getting them out of the box in the lab.
Yeah, and in the lab work there, you're actually working on the same fossils that you found.
Right.
Oh, they also mapped the region, showing all the geological strata and everything. I'd like that experience, too. Hey, are you going to come over to the Geology Department and find out more?
Yeah, why not?
Now I'm going to retell the story in my own words. The annual Field Geology Summer Program will take place at the Copper Mountain Field Camp. It's going to last for 2 weeks. During this time, students will attend lectures, field work, and laboratory training. The female student is going to attend this program. She is excited about it. She believes it's going to give her some great practical experience. She mentioned Jim. Jim attended this summer program last year. He said that the lectures there were more interesting because they were more real. Students work with the fossils that are right there, on the ground, where they have been for millions of years. And the professor explains what the local site can tell us about the fossils. Furthermore, in the lab work there, you are working on the same fossils that you have found, not on fossils from a box. Moreover, students are also mapping the region and mapping the layers of geological strata. Now let's focus on the question. The woman expresses her opinion of the summer program offered by the Geology Department. State her opinion and explain the reasons she gives for that opinion. There is going to be this annual Field Geology Summer Program, and that program will take place at the Copper Mountain Field Camp. The woman is excited about this program and she is going to attend it. She is excited about it because she believes it's going to give her some great practical experience. She says that students work with the fossils that are right there, on the ground, where they have been for millions of years. And the professor explains what the local site can tell them about the fossils. Furthermore, in the lab work there, they are also working on the same fossils that they have found, not on fossils from a box. Moreover, students are also mapping the region and mapping the layers of geological strata. The third question from the 7th test. The University Art Gallery has announced an upcoming exhibit. Read the announcement about the exhibit. You will have 45 seconds to read the announcement. Announcement from the University Art Gallery. The exhibit of 18th century silhouettes will open on January 17th at the University Art Gallery. Before the invention of photography, the silhouette artist captured a sitter's profile by using light to project a shadow of the subject onto a screen. Once the artist traced the shadow, it could be transferred onto other materials or reduced to fit into brooches, lockets, or rings. This fine collection of silhouettes traces the art form from its heyday in the early 1700s up to its present-day revival.
Now listen to 2 students as they discuss the exhibit.
Aren't silhouettes what we used to make at school carnivals? So, what's the big deal? why have an exhibit of a bunch of cutout profiles?
Well, I was reading something interesting about it in the paper the other day. It talked about this guy called Etienne de Silhouette, or something like that. Anyway, he was a finance minister, famous for being miserly. So anything cheap was called a la Silhouette. I guess since a profile was cheap.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They aren't art. They're just cheap cutouts.
Maybe, but I think it'll be interesting. I guess there are silhouettes of people like Catherine the Great and Napoleon.
Really? Okay, maybe it'll be worth seeing.
I bet you'd like the brooches and rings with silhouettes on them. Someone, I can't remember the name, invented a way for making the sketch bigger or smaller. And this device was used to make the silhouette really tiny to paint on ivory. Anyway, I'd like to go.
Now I'm going to retell the story in my own words. So there is going to be this exhibit of 18th century silhouettes. Silhouettes were a thing before the invention of photography. An artist would capture a person's profile by shining light and projecting the person's shadow onto a screen. Then the artist will trace the shadow and get a silhouette. Then that silhouette can be reduced to fit into various jewelry items. The female student doesn't think much of silhouettes. She thinks that silhouettes are just cut-out cheap profiles and that they are not art. The male student is interested for this exhibit. He says that he was reading something about silhouettes, and this guy called Etienne de Silhouette. He was a finance minister, and he was well known for being extremely frugal. So anything cheap was called a la Silhouette. So probably these silhouettes were very cheap. The man was then trying to change his friend's mind about silhouettes. He said that there are silhouettes of famous people, like Catherine the Great and Napoleon. Also, she will probably like to see jewelry with silhouettes on them. Also, he mentioned that somebody invented a way how to make silhouettes really small so they could be carved or painted on ivory or something like that. Now let's focus on the question. The man expresses his opinion of the exhibit. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for that opinion. So there is going to be this silhouette exhibit at the University Art Gallery. The female student doesn't think much of silhouettes, but the male student is very interested in this exhibit. He said that he was reading something about silhouettes, and this guy called Etienne de Silhouette. He was a finance minister, and he was well known for being extremely cheap. So anything cheap was called a la Silhouette. So probably these silhouettes were very cheap. The man is then trying to change his friend's mind about silhouettes. He said that there are silhouettes of famous people like Catherine the Great and Napoleon. Also, she will probably like to see jewelry with silhouettes on them. Also, he mentioned that somebody invented a way how to make silhouettes really small so they could be carved or painted on ivory or something like that.